I want to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. We got a good show for you all today. I'm going to be bringing my guests on to explain, to let her explain the ordeal that she had early sometime last week. But just sit tight and we will get this show started. Okay. Well, again, this is a special edition that I wanted to run sometime last week, but unfortunately, I did not have all the information. Okay, but we do have that information now, and we're going to get started just real shortly. But before I get started, um, I want to say that early voting will be starting May the 9th. Okay, I think it's May 9th when it starts. Um, so please make plan to get out to vote. Believer, this is probably the most important election uh, that we will participate in for quite some time. Okay, so you know what we need to do. Hopefully, we will do it. But before I bring my guests on, I want to talk about an incident that, well, not talk about an incident, but I want to tell you a little bit about the police officer that was involved that led to the termination of this young lady. Her name is Kendra. I can never pronounce the name right. Kendra Deacons. Okay. And so we're going to be bringing her on. She's not going to be long. And so we're just going to bring her on, let her tell her story. And then we're going to call it the night. Okay. So, but anyway, the police officer, I want to correct myself. Uh, this police officer is a detective. Okay. So he's not a regular police officer, he's a detective. And the reason that is important is because there's certain work that police officers do as opposed to detectives. Most of the time, the detectives, they conduct an investigation. If there's an investigation, if there's something to investigate, that's what they do. Okay, so that's very important. So excuse me for uh, he is an officer, but his primary duty, he's a detective. Okay, so that is that. But I want to go up here and just show you all something on the screen here. Uh, this is something that uh, the incident report, what led to the arrest of Mrs. Kendra Dickens. Okay, hopefully you all can see that. Um, Let me see if we're big enough. You can turn your phone landscape, of course, and you can read along with me. I do read pretty fast. It's not but 2 pages, I believe, but just want to give you an understanding of how we got to where we're at now. Okay. And like I said, let me see if I can blow that up a little bit more. If that's not big enough for you, let's see. I'm gonna stay with that, but let me see. I'm gonna have to go back down. All right, let me go back down. I'm pretty sure you all can read that. I'm the one that need glasses, and so you all ought to be fine. All right. Okay, here we go. Now, this is Miss Kendra Dickens was charged with uh, two. Uh, there was two charges that was assessed against her: disorderly conduct and criminal trespassing. Okay, and we'll talk about that. If you can see right here, where you see to your left, you see where you get address, disorderly conduct. Now it's typed out, okay? But if you move to your right, I don't know if you can see my cursor there. That's where a criminal trespass has been written in. To my understanding, the officer in question, he wrote that in. She was only supposed to be charged with disorderly conduct. but criminal trespass was handwritten into this affidavit. But let me go up here and see if we can move it around. Okay. Okay, it say Kendra Deacons came to the Osceola Middle School on April the 14th, 2022 at approximately 1:25 this p.m. upset about her son's cell phone being taken. Kendra Deacons was allowed to enter my office where she expressed her irritation about me trying to confiscate her son's cell phone and said that I yelled at him. I admitted that I did raise my voice, but that her son was very disrespectful not only today, but on multiple occasions. I stated that he was disrespectful Tuesday during the storm. She said, "You should have called it. You should have called it. Call me about my child." I told her I didn't have time because it was storming and we were trying to dismiss students. She continued to talk loudly, so asked it. So I asked her if she was going to let let me speak to her because she was talking over me and would not allow me to explain that her son had just injured another student. She said she said me. So I said I'm done with this meeting. She began she became more angry and began yelling loudly. I told her to get out. She continued to yell. Officer Miller escorted her out. As she was being escorted out, she called me uh, a B word. I watched it. You all know what I'm talking about when I say B word. I watched it. Officer Miller escort her out of the building. She then yelled that if Miss Leaks can do her job, then I need to do my job. I did not say anything else to Kendra Deacons. And this pretty much, I think this is the officer, I guess this, what do you call it? Uh, SRC, SRO, excuse me, School Resource Officer. I guess this is a statement that he wrote on April 14th, 2022, around 1:30 p.m. Uh, Officer Miller made contact with Kendra Deacons in the office of the Osceola Middle School. I was sitting in the office when a student, I was sitting in the office with a student when I overheard a verbal altercation coming from the office. I walked into the office and I saw uh, what's that, Brandy Hubbard, the assistant principal at Osceola Middle School, opening her office. Um, I think he meant opening up her office door and asking Kendra Deacons, a parent of the school district, to leave her office. I walked her toward the office as the voices continued to get louder. Kendra Deacons and Brandy Hubbard seemed to be very frustrated with one another. Brandy Hubbard asked Kendra Deacons to leave once again, but Kendra Deacons continued to argue with her. I grabbed Kendra Deacon and escorted her out of the school. Kendra Deacons um, continued to yell at Brandy Hubbard, calling her, excuse me, calling her a B, and yelling, telling them to do their job. Kendra Deacon was ultimately placed in her car, and she sped off out of the parking lot. And so that's the school resource officer statement. And I'm just going to run through this here. Um, and just show you all. This is the investigative report here, I believe. Look like it's upside down. Let's turn it around. Okay. Now this is the investigative report. I'm not going to read you all this here, but basically, what this this investigative report, um, it was conducted by, I think, Assistant Chief, I believe, Tyler Stanford. Um, well, this is no, this is someone else giving a statement. This is detective. Let me see. I got uh, let me Don't let me. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to. I was getting some messages coming in from a guest, and so y'all excuse me. But anyway, want me to go ahead and show this here. But this is 9/15/1994. I'm pretty sure that that's a typo on the year. But on Tuesday, April the 26th, 2022, approximately 12 p.m., Detective Baker and Detective Baker and Detective Washington made scene at Osceola High School in reference to make contact with a substitute teacher who had two warrants. Okay, this is Detective Baker and Detective Washington. They went to the high school to make contact uh, with Miss Kendra Deacons. They had two warrants. Upon my arrival, I made contact with both Detective and Kendra Deacons. Detective Baker initially made contact with Kendra and advised her that she had two warrants issued for her arrest. Kendra proceeded to ask questions regarding the warrants, and Detective Baker continued to explain the situation. I then told Kendra that she was under arrest. Kendra requested that I handcuff her outside due to her son being a student at the school. Since Kendra was being respectful and compliant, I then walked her outside of the school and handcuffed her. I gathered uh, her belongings and walked her to my unit. I placed Kendra in the back of my unit and asked her if she had anything inside of her purse. Kendra stated no. Go ahead and search it. I then began looking inside of Kendra's purse, in which I did not find anything. I then got inside of my unit. Um, okay. Um, Let me send me a, give me 1 minute. I want to send a quick private chat right quick to my guest. Okay. Give me just 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Sending this to my guest. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Excuse my spelling there. But anyway, I was communicating with my guest. Uh, anyway, that's pretty much that. We're almost about to get through. Just trying to lay the groundwork in regards to how we are where we at now. Okay. Uh, I clicked on the wrong thing there. I hope we still alive here. Okay. Now, y'all gotta forgive me. I'm not too I'm not prepared today. I've been running. But anyway, uh now this is the employee warning report. Just hold tight, Miss Kendra, and I will be coming back to you. Okay. Uh, but anyway, how you doing there, brother Rozelle? But anyway, I will be coming back to you. Now, let me go back to the police report. I'm bouncing all over the place. Now, this is the employee warning report. Mr. That's Officer Detective Patrick Washington. He only have two warnings that I see, um, which are, let me find it. Uh, bu- 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 bu. Got one for attendance, which was 5/21/21 attendance. That's the first warning. And the other warning was March the 4th, 2020. Um, that was his second warning for speeding. I think he refused to sign these warnings. He did not sign, he refused. And so that's basically all of that. I'm going to run through this here real quick. This is the investigative report right here, and then we're going to bring on my guests, okay? Um, I'm hoping she's still there. We're going to bring on my guest. But on Monday, 5 May 2nd, 2022, our Chief Hamilton was given the findings of an investigation into an incident involving Detective Patrick Washington. Assistant Chief Stanford conducted the investigation. The complaint was filed by Kendra Deacons and implied abuse uh, of Sergeant Washington authority and position in of a target harassment. Deacons alleged that she was arrested for disorderly conduct and criminal trespassing at the Osceola High School, where she worked in front of the students. Deacons also stated that as a result, she lost her job. Her main complaint was that Sergeant Washington was there and instructed other officers to arrest her. But after being taken into custody, he transported uh, transported to the police department. She was interrogated about the arrest warrants. She advised that Sergeant Washington came in and joined the interview, and it made her very uncomfortable because her and Sergeant Washington had a past relationship. She then showed me pictures of them together and lying in bed together. Uh, of course, they was clothes, you all. It was decent. Uh, Deacons advised that this was not the first complaint she filed on Washington. During the investigation, it was determined that Detective Baker and I guess that's what that private officers board actually made the arrest of Deacons, but were instructed to by a superior officer, Sergeant Washington. They advised that Washington instructed them to come to the school to serve the warrant. Washington told them that it was a conflict of interest for him. Man, keep that in your mind. It was a conflict of interest for him. That's why he called the two lady cops to come make the arrest. He knew that it didn't look good. Okay, considering he had a past relationship with the person that they were to arrest, which supported Deacon's claim. Washington was already at the school and was waiting when they arrived. He's already there. Uh, Once she was placed into custody by Baker and Boer, she was taken to the city jail. She was handcuffed before being escorted out, which is pure policy. However, the school resource officers did not know of the incident. Pause right there. The school resource officers did not know about this incident. You would think that when the officer uh, uh, appeared at the school, they would touch base with the school resource officer, but they didn't even speak to the school resource officer. He didn't even know. Okay, let me continue, which is usually the way arrests at the school are handled. The school resource officer, when interviewed, could not remember a time in which an arrest happened without them being involved. You hear that? Normally, when they come, they are involved in all arrests. Actually, they are the one that make the arrest and perhaps maybe uh, call police officers, if need be, to come in and assist. But the school resource officer didn't know of the incident and had no part uh, in Miss Deacons being arrested on the day in question. All right. Once at the police department, Deacons was interviewed for disorderly conduct and criminal trespassing. At some point in the interview, Sergeant Washington, Sergeant Washington joined it even after already having other officers arrest Deacons because of his assessment of the situation being what? A conflict of interest on his part. Now, he knew already that he shouldn't make the arrest at the school because of this conflict of interest that was on his mind. But yet and still, when she get back to the school, he chose to insert himself in the interrogation process. Which again, he violated the initial rule about not involving himself, but nevertheless, he felt a need to come inside the interrogation room while she was being questioned. Okay, where we at? As CID commander, I encourage investigators speak to anybody placed it in jail for any charges if that person may have knowledge of any criminal investigation or actions that was being investigated. Lieutenant Williams, the CID commander at the time advised in his interview that they did not interview for disorderly conduct warrants. Okay? Now, this is a disorderly conduct warrant. How many people you know that get a disorderly conduct and they take you in the investigation room to question you? It's unheard of. I mean, come on, it's petty, disorderly conduct. Okay, there's no need to interrogate a person for disorderly conduct, which is out the ordinary. During the interview with Deacons, no other criminal uh, activity was discussed other with her other than the verbal altercation with the principal at the school that led to the warrant. After reviewing the warrant and affidavit, I found that criminal trespassing had been handwritten on the affidavit. Let me read that again. It say, after reviewing the warrants and affidavit, I found that criminal trespass had been handwritten on the affidavit. Most of these documents, they are being typewritten, on a computer and logged into, some database system upon the file. But in this particular case, it seems though the word criminal trespass had been handwritten. Okay, that in itself is not untypical. As CID commander, I added and changed it charges on affidavit as well. After reviewing this affidavit, I did not see where it constitute trespass because as part of the statute, a person has to be given a warning first, and Deacons was not warned to not come back to school property according to the affidavit. We're almost there, y'all. Deacons was also a substitute teacher for the school and has a child in school, so she had a lawful reason to be on school property. I performed a search in our system to see how many misdemeanor warrants were served by Sergeant Washington since the beginning of 2021 until now. He has been in CID, that's Criminal Investigation Department, I imagine, uh, that whole time. I determined that he made 2 misdemeanor arrests that did not appear to be related to an investigation. Okay, he made 2 misdemeanor arrests that did not appear to be related to an investigation. Now we're talking about a criminal, a detective who performed criminal investigations. This was a misdemeanor. This is a misdemeanor charge. What does a detective doing investigating misdemeanors? He arrested Roderick Black for a traffic violation, y'all, of driving on suspended, and James Anderson for a failure to appear warrant. Anderson was arrested in the police department lobby. Okay, I guess I don't know what Mr. Anderson was down there for, but they arrested him on spot, standing in the lobby. Sergeant Washington was interviewed regarding this complaint and advised of the allegation. Washington advised that he wrote the charge of trespass on the affidavit. He admitted it. He admitted that he wrote that in. Okay. However, the affidavit lacked probable cause to support that charge. He also advised that he went to the school but did not make the arrest because there was a conflict. He advised it was because of a previous complaint that Deacon had filed it on him. Washington advised that he had not dated Deacons in the past. Well, I thought I read that right. But in the previous complaint, he gave a statement to Detective White and IE, whatever that stands for, an investigation that they had been in a relationship, but it had ended 6 months prior to that complaint. Washington advised that he took a set of affidavits to the prosecutor and they were approved. When the warrants were issued, he took Deacons to serve. The IA investigation showed that the allegations of the complaint were sustained based on all the factors to indicate that Washington specifically served this warrant and was a part of the interview with malice intent. In other words, That's a very strong word. Malice intent. The intent was not in good faith. It was malice. There was some ulterior motive as to why he wanted to be in that interview. And the word malice, which means um, in layman terms, he was there for no good other than to make Mrs. Deacons fearful, make her uncomfortable to the point to where uh, she reacted emotionally. I mean, she was humiliated. Okay, after reviewing the case file, interviews, and arrest stat, status, I guess I also agree with the findings. First, Sergeant Washington added a charge on the affidavit of Kendra Deacons, which isn't uncommon, but was not sustained by the affidavit. And it was added to an affidavit regarding a person he believed he had a conflict with. That affidavit was taken along with several others to the prosecutor for approval. Once they were approved, the judge issued warrants. Out of that set of warrants, he went to the school to serve that warrant, which is his duty. However, he only went to serve that one out of all that were issued. Okay, I think they said it was several warrants that he had. I don't know if they said what they say five, but of the handful of warrants that he had, he was particularly interested in just serving this one warrant, who happened to be Miss Kendra Deacons. He went to the school and then called Baker to the school to arrest Deacons because of a conflict. But once she was arrested, she was taken to the station and interrogated. Washington joined the interrogation after not uh, executing an arrest due to a conflict of interest. After a review of his arrest, only two misdemeanor arrests were made by him according to our record in the past year and a half. One was an arrest for driving on suspended license, and the other was a warrant on a person that was in the lobby of the police department. Then, in his interview, he denied dating Deacons. Uh-oh. But had given a statement admitting a relationship in an investigation prior to this incident. Given all those factors, the allegations by Deacons are sustained. In other words, believable. They believe her. That's signed off by Chief Jerry Hamilton. So that is that. There's a few other documents which I'm not going to get into, but that's basically, um, what went on. And so, without any further ado, I want to go ahead and bring on my guest. I'm pretty sure she heard everything that I read, and hopefully, she can go ahead and just tell exactly. Uh, well, let me just bring on. She'll tell you exactly, how this has impacted her, in a negative way in terms of on that day in question to this present day. Okay, so we'll bring her on right now. Let's bring her on now. How you doing, Miss Deacons?
Hey,
Was I too long?
not really.
All right. Uh, well, I know you were sending me some texts. I guess you wanted me to keep reading.
Tell it.
You know. Well, basically, like they say, can't nobody tell it like the victim themselves. Okay. So,
Right.
I pretty much gave you. I gave the viewers. I gave them an open statement in regards to exactly, uh, what has actually happened with this particular officer in the past. He only had two warnings, as they stated. Um, One was for attenders, and another one's for, I think, speeding. All right. So, um, other than that, uh, let me just get everything. I don't want you to say anything about this charge that's coming up, this disorderly conduct, because that charge remains. And so, but I want you to start by telling the audience um, exactly what was going through your mind that particular day when you see two officers coming
Three.
there. Three officers with Mr. Two lady cops, right? Two lady
Yeah,
cops, right?
two. It was two detectives and one Caucasian police officer, which just came off the police academy. So she was new. She
Okay,
was new on.
okay. Now, um, let me just go ahead and turn the floor over to you, and you just walk us through exactly um, were you in your classroom or were you uh,
Um,
in
I
transition from one room to another?
Now we was actually going to lunch. It was what I don't know if it was first or second, probably second lunch.
Hmm.
But I dismissed my class to go to lunch. I was scrolling through my phone. I forgot what I don't know if I was scrolling Facebook or whatever. And that's when I started walking down the hallway to go out the door. When I looked up, I noticed first face I see is Washington. And I don't know. I saw Washington, I saw Detective Baker, and I seen the Caucasian police officer. So I kind of like bagged up. I was like, well, they must got a drug bust. They probably finna have a
Yeah.
lockdown. It never dawned on me that, hey, I'm finna be handcuffed and they finna take me to jail. So Detective Baker was very professional. My discernment told
This
me
is the
that
lady cop, right? When you say Baker.
this was the detective. It was two detectives and an officer, remember?
Okay.
Detective Baker, she was, nice, and she didn't
Uh-huh.
make a scene, but don't forget that my students, the other classes, are going to lunch. So kids behind me, they see what's going on. But she approached me and she was like, "Hey, Kendra Dinkins, we have a warrant for your arrest." And I'm like, "A warrant? Like, am I being pranked? Am I being punked? Is this like?"
Unbelievable, huh?
Because this incident that happened at the school, this was 2 weeks. This was 2 weeks. Why did y'all wait 2 weeks later to come and, just it didn't add up to me. So I'm like, what am I being? I didn't even have time to text anybody, call anybody, and that's when I approached the police officer, Caucasian lady. I was like, hey, do you have kids? And she was just like, hey, I'm just here to do my job. And the look on those two ladies' face, they didn't want to do that to me. They did not.
Oh,
But
so
I
you
looked at
sensed that.
I picked that up in my spirit. They did not want to do that to me. At
Hmm.
work, on my job, I have a sophomore. My son is there. I got students. My students, I've been subbing for like 3 or 4 years. I've never had this problem. Not from the schools, not from the students, not from the principals, not from the teachers. I graduated here. I've been here all of my life. I grew up here. I graduated here in 2003. I have never, ever been humiliated, embarrassed, harassed, just traumatized ever in my 37 years of life. But I looked at the Caucasian lady. I said, hey, look at me. I said, do you have kids? She never told me yes or no. She was just like, hey, I just need to do my job. I said, do me a favor. I said, I have a child. I have a child here, and I'm gonna try not to cry. I have a
Hmm.
child here. This is my job. This is one of my incomes of how I pay my bills, take care of
Hmm.
home. And this is how I feed my kids. This is one of my incomes of how I provide for me and my children. And she said, I understand. And I took like 3 steps outside of the high school. I remember like it was yesterday. And she she put the handcuffs on me. I cooperated, and she didn't handcuff me from behind. She handcuffed me from the front, and she got my purse, my phone. Not to mention, I got these cars lined up. You got people coming in, and that's just so embarrassing. And all I could think about was my kids, my kids,
Hmm.
my kids, my kids. And she placed me inside of uh the patrol car, and they took me on to the station. And when they walked me in, they handcuffed me to the table like I was a animal. Yeah. They asked me questions, my name, date of birth, my social security number. After that, that's when I was taken to the questioning room. That's when Baker was halfway done. She did an awesome job. She made me feel comfortable. But Mr. Washington, um, he entered in at the end with his paper and pencil, and repeating conversation that him and the principal had, and what the teachers had said about me. Like, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel safe. I was very uncomfortable, because I'm like, hey man, you used to deal. We used to have relation, years ago. And just about the whole town knew about us. They did. Um, but I've never been so humiliated, embarrassed, like I said, in these 37 years of my life. I've never been to jail. I've never had handcuffs on me. I don't even have a record. I don't even have a driving record. I'm a good person here. I'm very active in the community. I have two children, 14, 16-year-old. So it's a lot that I can say. It's so much, but after the questioning, I'm thinking that they finna let me go home to my children. All I could think about was my kids. My kids getting picked on, bullied on. Hey, not only that, but they took my picture. I was on mobile patrol.
So,
Mobile patrol.
so overall, this was just a total humiliation that you
Yes,
endured.
public humiliation.
And as I understand, you indicated that you have a son that attend the very school that you were
Yep.
arrested at.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, without talking very much about this disorderly conduct, now you did in fact had uh, a court appearance a few days ago, correct?
I
Was it
did.
Monday?
Monday at nine
Monday.
o'clock.
And it
Yeah,
is and it is a fact that um, when the judge called you up, and correct me if I'm wrong, I was there as well. For the audience that don't know, I was there as well. And it is true that when you went before the judge, you had two charges: disorderly conduct and criminal trespass. And
hmm
is it true that she uh, dismissed the criminal trespass?
she did. She automatically did that.
Yeah.
When she called me up, she called my name 3 times. I came up. I was a little nervous, but anyway, she didn't even understand the paperwork. She didn't. She basically stated, "Hey, there's not enough on this paper to." It was just
I
she
think her
was
word
confused.
was it wasn't enough information to
Uh-huh.
warranted the criminal trespass
Yeah,
charge.
but she threw that out quickly.
Mhm.
She
Mhm.
threw it out.
And the only thing actually remains is a disorderly conduct.
Correct.
you know and you don't have to talk about it, but uh just from listening to not listening but reading the school resource officers at the middle school, he didn't witness anything. He just heard a bunch of commotion, and so really at this point,
It was
um
just a heated argument between
it
two
just was
women.
a disagreement.
Just
I
an
think
argument.
that the teacher had indicated that um this is me talking now. You don't want you to say anything, but she had already had, I guess, some encounters with your sons. She even labeled him as being, disrespectful and whatever. And your concern was, why did she not reach out to you sooner? And I guess that's when everything took a turn for the worse. But we'll just leave it at that. But you went. Uh, because you was concerned about your son might have been involved, and whatever, according to the incident report, some other kid had been injured. And so you were basically concerned about your child is the reason you went to the
Yeah.
school.
hmm
And so we'll just leave that there. But as you noticed in that interview, how did you feel when you found out that this criminal trespass had been handwritten in by Detective Washington? How did you feel when you found
Ooh,
out that?
I was blown away. I was blown away. I was blown away, and my anxiety was through this roof.
Mhm. Well, is there,
Like,
you
yeah,
know, without getting too personal, why would a person go through something like that? Was it something? Was it a bad breakup, or do we hate you? Why would a
I have
person go to the extreme, especially writing
no
in a
idea.
chart?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I guess my name carry weight.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just a little, but I have no idea. Whatever he has against me, I mean, that's between him and God. That's between him and God.
and you have
So
no ill feelings toward him.
I don't have no hatred in my heart for nobody. But you do wrong, and wrong comes back to you. I don't hate him, but just all I can say is God don't like ugly, and you reap what you sow. You reap what you
Well,
sow.
all right, Miss Dickens. I know you was tired today. When I spoke to you earlier, I think you've been
Yeah, it's
resting, and I
been
don't.
2 3 weeks. It's been a journey. It's yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to tire you out anymore. So, how do your children feel? Of course, they was shaken up by it when they first heard about it. So how are they? You two. I think you have two boys, right?
Yeah, I got two big teenage boys. They when they see that I'm okay and I'm fine, they're okay and they're fine. But the day that it happened, I didn't even send them to school the next day because I knew that, you got some mean kids out there that want to, say
Mhm.
mean things.
I
And,
understand.
but we just taking it, me and my kids, we just taking it day by day. I mean, this is going to take time and probably a little counseling, maybe therapy to get, you know, through, because I mean, like I said, this was a public humiliation. This wasn't nothing that was done in the closet. Just,
Mhm.
this
Right.
was done. I mean, I
And
don't know
on
what.
top of that, what really add to the humiliation in terms of the end result? Um, it caused you to lose income. I mean,
Yeah,
in other words, based on the actions of Detective Washington, it has hindered you the ability to uh, yet be gainfully employed and provide for your family. So, uh,
yeah. I'm as of now, I'm still employed with ESS. Like, I'm good with them. Nothing was reported to sub teach ESS.
mhm,
Um, but I hope it's okay for me to say this on the live, but Osceola School District has really just mm,
it's in
counted me
trouble.
out. They
Okay,
they and that too maybe, but they have really, counted me out.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because this was at the Osceola High School, and
Yeah,
so for that to occur, for you to be arrested, handcuffed, you know, face that humiliation, that had to be approved by somebody. If not the principal or the superintendent, between the principal, the superintendent, or whoever, because the school resource officer, clearly he didn't know what was going on. He didn't even know about it. So actually, someone once they came into knowledge that you were to be arrested, it seemed like the only two administrators that could have signed off on that, well, actually three, since you all have an assistant superintendent, would have been um, the principal, the assistant superintendent, and the superintendent. And
yep,
so I think you alluded to that, to where the school, they didn't believe in you. This is something in terms of what happened over at the middle school. I don't know if you saw my Facebook Live. This is
yeah,
something that where the police officer didn't even need to be called in. Would you agree? This could
yeah.
have been
I
settled in the office.
personal. It was personal. Birds of a feather flock together, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But
Okay.
yeah, they counted me out. They saw that, took that, ran with it, and just, counted. They just counted me out. So, and it's okay. It's
Mhm.
okay.
Well, hopefully you will consider all your options in terms of, because like I said, I mean, because of this, I mean, these actions, you say that you're yet employed, but yet and still, you know,
They don't want
there is no
to.
money can replace what
Yeah,
you
right.
endured in terms of the humiliation. You have an older son that attended high school. He had to learn about that, so it has impacted his life in a negative way, as well as you have a younger son, you know,
Yeah.
to where you was removed, when placed back, walked back to your car, and you had to sped off. So I imagine he heard, some
Yeah.
of the, the rumors or what have you, and so that's what superintendent. Uh, um, well, let me just say that's what the school administrators need to understand, that this not only uh, have impacted your life in a negative way, but your two wonderful boys, young men.
Something, I don't mean to cut you off, and I hope I'm not talking too much, but the sad thing about this whole situation is before it even got this far, I reached out to the superintendent. I emailed, I even reached out to some people on the school board. I reached out. I was actually crying out, but nobody heard my cry.
Mhm.
And this is what took place. So,
Well, I know
yeah.
I know it's you was really hurt. I heard it in your voice. Um, Even when you got the news, I mean, you was so overwhelmed with joy that you couldn't hold back the tears when you heard. I think it was, who was it? Detective Assistant Chief Stanford is who contacted you about the investigation.
It was assistant chief. His name is Tyler.
Okay, that's his first name. Last name Stanford.
I think so. Yeah,
Okay,
Tyler.
but
Tyler is Tyler. Yeah.
well, well, hopefully, you can, like you say, you can move forward. As you indicated, I think that's a pretty good choice to make, that where you and your family can go ahead and maybe, you know, uh, try to look toward, some counseling. I think that'll be a good thing for your children. Considering, like you say, sometimes students can be mean, about, what happened, uh, about a particular parents. And so, is there anything else that you would like to? I don't, like I said, I wasn't gonna hold you long, but is there anything else that you feel that I didn't cover, or something that need to be said, other than the disorderly conduct that's coming up? But
No,
is there anything else that you would like to share, with the audience in terms of this terrible ordeal that you endured?
I just would like to say before I get off of here, I'm not the person that y'all think I am. My intentions was not to go up to the Osceola Middle School. That's not who I am. That's not my cup of tea. But my intentions were not to go to the middle school and, you know, explode like that. But it takes two to tangle. And
Mhm.
one thing about our children, when our children are wrong, they're wrong. When they're right, they're right. And all I asked for was, hey, can you explain to me what happened today? I didn't ask her. I didn't ask no questions about what happened yesterday, the day before yesterday. Hey, and I tell this to all the parents. If there's a problem with the kids, contact the parents so we can handle it at home, so we can
I
get,
agree.
so we can get our kids where they need to be. If we're not contacted, and if there's no communication, like they say it takes a village to raise a child, don't nobody do that no more. But me as a parent, I'm a concerned parent, I'm an active parent. If my child is acting up, call me, text me, have the secretary to call me, have the resource officer, have the counselor, have somebody to reach out to me. This whole situation could have been avoided, but like like we stated, it was malice, maybe some envy, maybe some jealousy, maybe hatred, but the devil was really busy in this situation, but he didn't stay busy too long because God got in the midst real quick. God got me, and
Well,
that's
I
all I.
totally agree, and like I say, is I really appreciate you for coming on. As you indicated, as You got so many stories out there, and so hopefully the audience heard you. They felt you, not just as a teacher, but as a loving, concerned parent. And I tip my hat to you uh, for you uh, rearing your boys. I mean, those, like you say, they teenagers, and to my understanding, your boys, to my knowledge, hadn't been standing in front of no judge for a lot of this juvenile crime. And so, people gotta tip their hat to you. I mean, it's hard uh, raising two boys, and you're doing a magnificent job, wearing the dress and the pants. And so I tip
Yep.
I tip my
Thank
hat to
you.
you, and like to say, you're a super mom. I have to use that word. These
Thank
are
you.
teenagers. Okay, and
Yeah.
so I'm gonna let you go ahead and rest up the remainder of the day. Let me see if anyone had a question for you over here. Uh, Not that you know anything about the trial or anything. I mean the upcoming disorderly conduct. We're not going to even get into that. But just want to see if anyone is hollering at you. Uh, there go your buddy there. Where your acquaintance, your friend. Uh, is that the doctor? Can you
Yeah,
see that? Pardon
yeah.
me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess she's just sending some love out to you. Um, Let me see, is anyone else that might want to holler at you? Uh, People that want you to know that they're giving you their support. Okay. Of course. Let me see, is anybody else? I don't see anyone else for us. Well, we got Sister Anderson. That's one of my church members there. Say she proud of you. Okay,
Thank you.
Sister Anderson. Uh, and so, like I said, you have some support. Okay. We have another. This is a brother of mine, strong brother there, Fred Johnson. Proud
Thank
of you.
you.
And so, you're getting a lot of love here. You know what I mean? You're getting a lot of love here. Uh,
Yeah.
and so, of course, he signed off and just saying, just stay strong. All right. And so you do have some support here, people in the community. Of course, I will say your support outweigh your haters. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. And so, um, anyway, you have a remaining blessed day. And I'm going to go ahead and close it out because it looks like we got about maybe 6 minutes and I'll be at the 1 hour point. And again, don't be a stranger. Come back to see me. Okay.
I will. Thank you, Mr. Hollis.
Peace and
All
love.
right.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was my guest, Miss Kendra Deacons. Uh, Strong woman. Uh, what she been through, arrested at her job, where there's students, what have you. This, as I indicated, this could have been taken care of um, in an administrative setting. Okay. Uh, I wanted to put something up for you all that was sent to me by uh, by uh, a resident of Osceola, a friend of mine. But she sent to many of you might have saw the. I don't have it on the screen. I wish I could have put it on the screen. But let me just read something to you. Osceola schools seek faculty and staff. Okay. Let me see if I can read this here. Let me turn it around sideways. Okay, the Osceola School District is needing to fill more than 25 positions for the next school year, 22-23 school year is what we're talking about, you all. Okay. Um, the district is offering $5,000 sign-on bonus and performance bonus up to $8,000. Certified position available are kindergarten teachers, second grade teachers, fourth grade teachers, elementary counselor, elementary music teacher, third grade teacher, Cohen and engineer teacher, middle school teacher, math teacher, middle school science teachers, uh, middle school music teacher, high school English language teacher, high school art teacher, high school, look like, I want to say, can't see that, but look like it may be math teacher, um, high school art teacher. What else? High school physical science teacher, environmental science chemistry teacher, high school civic teacher, high school history teacher, special education teacher. It didn't say which school, but special education teachers. Okay, we need those. And what's that other one? It's a and readily, I guess that's reading specialist. Coaching opportunities are available. Okay, with these positions. You all, I want to say this here before I close. Osceola, your school district is in trouble. Okay, your school district is in trouble. You have a lot of certified teachers that have, uh, moved on. You know, they actually have moved on, and hopefully, you will do something to be involved, because once your schools go, so do your community. All right. You have lost teachers who uh, are intending teaching at Rivercrest next year, and I'm thinking that Rivercrest pay less money. So that just goes to show people have to be really uh, frustrated with their job at Osceola uh, School District in order to go and take another job for less money. All right. So please come together. You know, it's time for unity. We have to put our hangups to the side, come together collectively, and be about trying to save the Osceola School District. It's in trouble, you all. Your school district is in trouble. You continue to lose teachers. You need certified teachers. Okay? I think you probably still be in a level 4 status. All right? That's serious. Level 4 status. Probably one step away from the state if they choose to do so, but I don't think they're coming in. Right now, the state can come in. Okay? Um, so I want to say this here to Superintendent Green. Um, please work with your school board and um, your teachers, your principals. Come together and do what's in the best interest for the Osceola School District. Now, I want to put this out here, and I'm closing. From a reliable source, it has been told to me that Superintendent Green is looking for another job. I'm told that it may be West Memphis. I think they need a superintendent. Now, I don't have the information in front of me, but I understand that he either will be uh, interviewed or he might have already been interviewed for the job. Okay? So if Superintendent Green decide to just pack up and leave right now, with the conditions that your school district is in right now, it's probably will be impossible to bring in any superintendent that will want to take on such, I'm gonna use that word, mess. If he leave right now, with the district is in the shape, with the district in the shape that is in now, a mess, uh, it'll be a miracle that if any superintendent will want to come in to try to repair a lot of the damage, if you will. Let me use that word that has been done. So that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to bring on Miss Deacons, and we need to understand that our police department need to do a better job in community police relation. It's not just white cops. It's black cops too. It's not just white officials. It's black officials too. That old saying that I heard the night on my a friend of mine, his show, his guest, there was one lady used the word. I forgot all about that statement that she made. Um, all black skin ain't kin. Let me say that again. All black skin ain't kin. So just because it's black, don't mean they got your back. All right. So let's quit trying to put uh, a choice on race because sometimes it could be folks that don't look like you that would give you uh, the biggest of their time in terms of help. All right. So the hour been spent. We're right at it right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'm gonna go over here to my board, which I always do before I close out to see if we got any questions over here. I get my thank yous. I do that last. Okay. Um, that's my brother, Razan Razel Aaron. He have a show. He's from Little Rock. I think it's called. Mm, I know that Justice in there. I can't remember the exact name, but he have a show to where we basically do somewhat similar. He's focused on uh, civil, social justice, human justice, anything to do with politics. I mean, the economics, school system, you name it. We cover it all. That's what he do. So um, please catch him on his show. I think he normally come on. I want to say at 11 o'clock a.m. His show was an hour, so please do tune in to him and watch him as well. Okay. And we also have my sister, Miss Anderson, Sister Anderson, Kat Anderson. Oh my God, so many just like him, dirty and don't care. As I say, all black skin ain't kin, Sister Anderson. Okay, all black skin ain't kin. Uh, this is my brother, Riley Greenwood. That's a strong, very concerned brother. I thank you for tuning in. I think IA is internal affairs. What was I thinking? You're right. Internal affairs. It's been a rough day, and so thank you for that, brother Greenwood. Okay, but you are correct. It's internal affairs. Uh, and there go my brother Clifford Allen. There you go. Yeah, he confirmed it. Internal affairs. Thank you, Click. That's one of my brothers who I graduated with. And hey, y'all, he used to be a cop. Good cop. He helped me out over in Memphis, Tennessee, when my car got stolen back here years ago. He helped me out. I got my car probably in 24 hours. With his help. You know, uh, Putting out the description of my vehicle and all. They recovered my vehicle that morning, and so I thank my brother Clifford uh, for his services, not just as a cop, but he also was a miller. Uh, he spent some time in the military, and so in fact, I think his whole family, uh, in terms of the men, he's the baby boy, if I'm not mistaken, but all of his brothers also have some type of career in law enforcement as well as the military. All right. And of course, uh, this mistaken James Braggs. Okay, that's our pastor. That's a good brother there. I call him brother. Not no disrespect to him as his title as a pastor in the community. Um, Loving Jesus is his church located. I don't know the exact address, but it's right off Am Street. Um, and so please get by and visit with him. Uh, I appreciate you tuning in, Pastor Bragg. All right. Um, as I indicated, uh, that is the doctor, I believe. I think it's Dr. Willis, I believe, from Osceola. That's what really threw me off. That name, Doctoral Ree, whatever. I appreciate you tuning in. Of course, as Kendra, I said, pretty red or pretty bad or whatever. And this is my sister right here, Sister Moses. That's a strong sister there too. And she was an educator, and so I know she must be pretty frustrated what's going on with the Osceola school system. Um, I think she's got many years upon her belt educating our children, And so to see the Osceola school system in the state that is in right now, um, I imagine she hurting inside as well. Uh, I thank you, Sister Mosley, for your passion and your love all past years and even up to this present time for our students. Okay. Who we have here? It's Tanya Tanya. Is that Tanya Tanya? How you doing? Um, of course, we have what's that? Alicia Howard. How you doing? Miss Beecham. How you doing? Trying to find a question here, you all. That's my brother there, Sammy Davis. Give her strength, Lord, right now in Jesus' name. That's a strong brother there. Probably a few years older than me. I looked up to Sammy Davis, a man, one of the giants in the community, one who I looked up to. Sammy Davis, very humble man, very godly man. And so, any of you that bump into Mr. Sammy Davis down in Osceola, uh, show some respect. That's a strong brother, okay? A loving brother. Uh, this sister Brenda Beecham, Tony, thank you so much for helping people um, in your live show. Thank God for you. You tell it like it is. I try to, sister. I try to tell the truth, and then and telling the truth not only sets you free, but sometimes the truth get me in trouble. But I still get to do what I must do, nevertheless. Okay, um, that's my sister there, Sister Tolliver. She's a strong supporter. Always march or whatever function that I have, she's there. I appreciate you, sister. I see you, as well as Tanya. Tanya, prayers to you as well. I'm gonna try to get through this, y'all. Who else we have here? Um, we have oh, there go my auntie. That's my sweet aunt Maris Simmons, all the way from Texas. Okay, that's where she's watching from, Texas. Isn't she beautiful, y'all? That's my aunt, more like my mom. You know, I love her to death. Okay, love you, auntie, and thanks for watching. Of course, that's Miss Tanya again. We got Brother Sammy. Great advice, Miss Deacon. Stay encouraged. Pretty sure she will do that. Ken folks, Victor Gregory, how you doing, my brother? Thanks for tuning in. How did they get in the school like that? We talked about that. Thank you. How did they get in the school like that? And nobody knew nothing. I forgot that Osceola Police Department, they can get in that school like that. Exactly. Uh, I mean, who authorized that? Once the school personnel saw what was happening, knowing that they have school, I mean, children there at the school, uh, how is a teacher supposed to come back and be able to teach? Now, these high school students, now, these not small children, these are high school students. How is she supposed to come back and do her job without the thought of what these students must be thinking about her? First of all, the police should not have been called in. I think what started over at the middle school, I'm pretty sure that that could have been handled in a administrative setting. When employees have a misunderstanding, job I used to work at, shoes, we come to almost fist fights, but they don't call the police on us. We get in, they sit down, they talk with us, uh, try to resolve the issues. If it wanted, sending someone home, suspension or whatever, they do that. If it wanted termination, someone was physically injured, that is grounds for termination. Okay, but you don't call the police on your employees. Okay, so I agree, brother Gregory. That could have been uh, settled, that incident, that altercation between Ms. Deacons and the assistant principal, that could have been settled in house in a administrative setting. Didn't have to call the police. All right. Uh, Proud of her. Thank you, Miss Deacon. Um, Sister Stacy, Pollard, how you doing? Uh, really enjoyed you all. Fellowshipping with you all. Although it was up on some sad circumstances. Uh, and Pastor Braggs, I will be getting back over to visit you and uh, church members. Always love to fellowship with Pastor Braggs. Uh, and so thank you, Sister Stacy. Uh, and there go my strong sister, Miss Mosley again. You're telling the truth, Kendra. That middle school is horrible. You're talking about a teacher. Now, teachers don't normally uh, come out and make negative comments about about the school system that they love so much that they taught in that they uh, educate these children in for so many years. You don't find very many teachers will throw off on the school system like that. So something really has to be terrible, horrible, as Sister Mosley stated, for her to make that statement. So please, parents, stakeholders, concerned citizens, please get involved with your educational system in Osceola. Okay. It's Brother Fred Johnson. How you doing, my brother? Thanks for watching. Brother Cunningham, how you doing, my brother? Thanks for watching. Uh, Stay strong. Hoping she will. Indeed, she will. Uh, that's Brother Richard Wilkins. I've been knowing him since he was a little knucklehead, him and my brother. How you doing there, Brother Wilkinson? Stand your ground. She did. And, it paid off for her. Thank God that, Judge saw where um, there was nothing there to warrant her being charged with criminal trespassing. Okay. Um, that's Sister Stacy again. Keep your head up, sis. Uh, Teresa Bill, old cousin. Oh, cousin, kinfolks, y'all related, huh? Uh, and we got thanks for tuning in, Sister Teresa. Praying this work out for you. I think things will work out for her as well. Uh, got Brother Cunningham saying amen. Y'all, I'm almost at the bottom here. Y'all just bear with me. For those of you who want to sign off, please do. But I always like to try to pay love to those who tuning in, uh, giving me their time. And so I have to say something to them. Sister Tolliver, how are you? You are love. I'm pretty sure she appreciate that love, Sister Tolliver. Uh, uh, Thanks again, my brother. Thank you, Sister Anderson. Uh, there go my dear sister. What's going on, Sister Debbie? Debbie Hollis. She don't like that, y'all. I think my grandparents uh, and a few others call her Debbie. Love you, sis. Uh, and Who is this? This is praying for you. That's Sister Shannon Stevenson. Okay, that's Brother Greenwood again. Significant shortage of school teachers. He's talking about. Good luck filling those positions. They're gonna need a lot of luck, a lot of praying as well. Uh, okay, I might move back for that pay. Come on back. We need all the help we can get right now. Hopefully, the community will get behind our teachers, our children, and we can turn this thing around. All right. Um, Nah, I will stay at AG. Okay. Uh, who is that? Oh, it's more like a son to me. This is a very respectable young man. This is uh, a young man, Zachary Payne. Um, my children, my daughter Shalisa and Ashley. This is their brother who live in Wichita, Kansas. I tell you, the young brother got a head on him. Business minded, uh, and also y'all, he's an artist, music artist. Check out his music. That's his name there, Zachary Payne. Payne. Go to his page and check him out. I love you there, young man. You take care now and keep that family straight in Wichita. Uh, Until then, I will say, may peace and blessing be upon you, that little sweet daughter that I met, your entire family, Zach. Okay. Keep up the great work, Mr. Hollis. Keep putting in for Osceola. I try to do what I can do. Uh, that's Sister Shannon Stevens again. Lord, our kids need teachers. Indeed, they do. Shannon Stevenson, wow, I pray for the schools and our kids in this area. Indeed. Sister Kendra, she tagging a few people. I imagine it's Mark Bland, of course. Y'all, I'm probably gonna have to get off because I'm a 15 minutes over now. I normally just try to do an hour. I'm an hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna come back though, and I'm gonna try to um, say my hellos to everyone. Cause look like some of the ones I'm looking at now have already been there. Let me see. We are staying in Maine. He took time to write this here, so I'm gonna read it. We are staying in Maine. My foster kids are in this fantastic little school with an outstanding principal. Administration is key. Have to treat the teachers well because that is where the rubber meets the road. I totally agree. Prayers for my old school district. Brother Riley, he attended school in Osceola School District, and so he sent his love. And we need our teachers. Get behind our teachers, okay? Our teachers need us. They cannot even share with you what is going on in Osceola School District for fear that they may be retaliated against, lose their job. So please check out the body language. You know, they may can't say nothing to you, but pay attention to some of the school teachers that teaching in our Osceola School District. You know, they're crying out to you. They need your help. So please do pay attention to our teachers. You know, they may not call you. You call them. Check up on them. Okay? Check up on them. All right? And Corey Johnson, Jasmine Moore, that's my sister tagging in some people. Same there. Let me see if I can find a question. Um, what is here? This is hey my family, hey to my family and associates. Please watch this from the beginning. Love you all. That's when I was reading the incident report and the the disciplinary report of Mr. Washington. Okay. Uh, Click is retired Army officer. Oh yes, indeed, he is a police officer as well. This my sis. Let's see what she's saying. She say, I never would imagine that my city school district would be in such a sad condition in my older age. My children attended the Osceola School. I am so glad I don't have to go for school meetings anymore. Oh, please do. You need to go to school meetings. When I say school meetings, I'm talking about the school board meetings. Please, you all, that's where you learn a lot of things. They said in policy at these school board meetings, they're making decisions as it relates to your your children. It could be academics and it could be policies. It could be dress code or some other a policy that which you think that is not fair and you don't agree with. So please attend these meetings, be involved, okay, before they adopt these policies. So please attend the school board meetings. All right. Um, I think she said they all counted her out. But I tell you what, uh, the more for you is a whole lot uh, stronger, if you will, than those few who are against you. So keep your chin up, okay? Sherry Jackson, that's her mom there, always praying. Mom gonna always pray for her. I call her Shirley. Y'all see her name Sherry Jackson, but I call her Shirley. So that's her mom, you know, praying for her baby. That's Miss. How you doing there, Sister Robinson, Beverly Robinson? Praying for her and her family. Okay, Sister Bill. I think she said that was her cousin. Thank you for all you do, Tony. You're greatly appreciated. Well, thank you, Sister Bill. I try to get tiresome sometime, but somebody got to do it, huh? Uh, you know, of course, thanks, Mr. Tony Hollis. God bless you for having me. Thank you for coming on, having the courage to tell this uh, this terrible incident that you had to endure. I felt that I felt that humiliation uh, just by you describing, what was said to you and what was done. And so you're not in it alone. You do have you do have people who are willing to get behind you to support you. Okay, so keep your chin up, stay strong. All right. Um, this is Mrs. That's a lot of names there. What's that? Starling, um, Starling, Lydian, Rose. What's that? Courtney. Man, that's a lot of names. How you doing, Miss Courtney? From Osceola, watching from Osceola. That's Brother Michael Smith. Visibility at meetings is needed. I totally agree. That's what I just sort of expounded on a few minutes ago. Is that when you come out, you don't even have to say nothing half of the time, but just your presence at these meetings uh, will give a sense of accountability, holding the school board accountable, holding the superintendent accountable. So yes, please do come out. You don't even have to get on the agenda unless you desire to speak. Okay, but please do attend these meetings. All right. I mean, parents, teachers conference. Teachers are afraid to talk. Well, get to know them. If they're afraid to talk, give them a reason to want to talk. And once you try it and did all you can do, and then you can hang it on the hanger. Shall they say, shake the dust off your feet. You done did all you can do, but please don't give up on the teachers. Uh, uh, Please, teachers and parents, develop their relationship to help our children. Okay. Um, this is Kendra. We got one more and we done, y'all. Kendra, prayers to you and your boys. She got some very uh, loving, adorable boys. One of them played for the basketball team, high school team, who made some very needed plays going down the stretch, to turn that ball game around. And so, very good, very, very good defensive player, and so he played a major part in helping bringing home that state championship for the Osceola Seminoles. All right. This is the last one, y'all, and we done. And that is it's Sister Deacon. She just Tanya, bless you, dear. So you all, that's my show. Please do register to vote if you hadn't already. We got that general election coming up tomorrow. I do plan to have the Lord. I can't pronounce her last name, but her first name is Attorney. I think it's Sonia, and I still may be pronouncing that wrong, but I'm not going to even try to pronounce her last name. But she's running for the uh, prosecuting attorney office. That's the office that Scott Ellerton used to occupy. She's running for that seat, and so tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I'm running a special a show to let her speak to you all, uh, and hopefully give you something uh, that would get your vote while she's the better candidate in this race. Okay. So until then, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and um, and say I love you too, my sister, and say that it was a blessing for you all to come on. And do catch me next week. I didn't have time to put the date. When is my next show? I may be out of town, But anyway, catch me on Tuesdays now. I no longer do Sundays. I'm trying something different. So Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. Um, that is my new date. Okay. So until then, I want to say peace and love. May God bless you all and have a remaining blessed day. Okay. Peace and love.